You haven't lived until you've heard the show Americans are talking about. The show that launches its listeners to the height of humanity. The audio hour that travels the landscape of adventure. The sound that comforts more than the clip of your first bolt. It's the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show!
Our Outdoor Adventure summits the airwaves. This is the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show. I'm your host, R. Brandon Long. I'm belay with you for about the next 40 minutes or so. Across from me here in Banyan 1 is the best co-host in all the land, Todd to the top. Todders, how are you?
I'm doing good. How come it feels like we just did this?
Because we do it every week.
Yeah, but
but we're early today.
More than that.
It's a
Maybe
Wednesday.
It's just one additional day earlier.
One additional day, so it came a lot faster this time.
It just means that we keep our weeks very busy as well.
Yes, yes, we do. We are hanging out inside Banyan 1, inside the Monarch building, inside the heart of the Nine Rails Arts District. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. This week, we do have, oh, man, I'm going to have to make up a weekly happy, Todd, and I really think you're going to enjoy it. We have a guest with us. We're going to talk a little snOwFOAM with Reba on the docket. Lots of stuff going on at the resorts. And then we have some in the news, a snow report, Pall Mall road construction, ski theft prison time, millennials ski less, man survives a week in a snow cave in Alaska, weeks in snow cave.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks, yeah. Ecuador selling off their rainforest to the highest bidder. What's older, the ski or the wheel? Skimo Gold and train like a 100-year-old or train like a centenarian. We'll show you how. We'll give you something worth listening, also something worth watching, and I did find a nice worth reading today as well. A Gear 30 segment, including the field notes. You know, the little field notes notepads?
Yeah.
They have a new edition coming out, which is pretty cool. Quote of the week, Outdoor Jukebox. All of this and more on the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show, episode 349, snOwFOAM. So let's charge.
He summits with the agility of a mountain goat, flashes routes faster than UPS, is more intimate in the mountains than Jake Gyllenhaal. He's Todd to the top.
Reba, do you know what the more intimate in the mountains than Jake Gyllenhaal even refers to?
No, I don't.
Okay. I think maybe the reference is probably past.
A Brokeback Mountain reference.
Oh.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
That man was
Intimate in the mountains.
You...
Todd's more intimate in the mountains than Jake Gyllenhaal.
And he was very intimate in the mountains.
Yes, he was.
But that was 10 years ago. And so
maybe every once in a while we got to remind people why that reference is in there.
I think Weird Science is older.
Much older.
Yeah,
Much older.
Weird Science was 85, 86?
80,
something like that.
It's 80 old is what that is. This week's weekly happy, you'll be happy to know, Todd, I couldn't find one. So you know what that means?
I have no idea. A video of your kids.
Dad joke time.
Oh, no.
Dad
joke time.
I love these.
You better silence my microphone. The groan will be gone.
Student loans got me through college. Don't think I can ever repay you. Screw up the punchline. Student loans, you got me through college. I don't think I can ever repay you.
That's pretty good, though.
Dad joke.
Yeah.
That's
it's
a real,
sad, though. It's kind of a sad dad joke.
Is that bad?
It's a little bit of a sad joke.
Okay.
Student loans hit a little hard.
That one,
some of us.
Well, okay, that's a little too close to the.
Yeah.
Too close to the dad.
Yeah.
It's not funny. Yeah. It's not so funny as it is a reminder.
Okay, I was home and I watched my wife trip and fall carrying a bunch of clothes as she ironed. I watched it all unfold.
See, that's a good dad joke.
Yeah.
That might even get a little laugh from a child.
Yeah. Okay. This dad joke thread I follow can get a little dark sometimes, so that's probably why I enjoy it.
I love that it is a group. What's the name of the group?
It's just dad jokes on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, which I thoroughly enjoy. Reba is here with us with snOwFOAM. What are we drinking here?
This is a Vieux car.
A Vieux car?
Vieux car. I don't know. If you're
car?
French, I'm sure I'm butchering the language, but a Vieux car?
I got to put the thing
like
on
the
it.
sound of it.
Yeah,
it's a New Orleans staple.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Like if you go into any bar in New Orleans.
Like a nice bar.
Or a nice bar.
Any bar.
This is like a legit drink, though.
Probably
Yes.
any
This
bar.
thing is
yeah.
fully loaded. This is not a morning beverage. This ain't your This ain't your champagne and OJ.
This is day drinking in the Banyan Collective.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we shall. Yeah. So coming up Friday night
Friday night.
is SnOwFOAM. Now, what's with the spelling? Because I'm spelling it correctly. Lowercase s, lowercase n, big O, and then foam is the acronym for Friends of Acoustic Music.
OFOAM is
OFOAM.
the Ogden Friends of
Got the
Acoustic
O.
Music.
Got it.
So we wanted to put the snow in there. We started SnOwFOAM 4 years ago, really as a way to give Ogden some entertainment when we had this departure of Sundance. Sundance was
so
showing
that
films.
It didn't feel like it was that long ago, but I guess it was. Huh? Yeah.
And so we wanted to bring some entertainment to downtown Ogden in the winter, and also just connect with our Ogden music festivarians in the winter to remind them we're here and to get them excited about the festival. And
so you're bringing in town here Amy Helm, be right here inside the Monarch building. Wow, does she have an interesting lineage?
Yes.
Going on. Her pops and family and the whole.
Her dad, her mom, her stepdad. She comes from a long line of very talented musicians.
And she could stand on her own. In other words, her voice is unbelievable. And so, if she didn't have that lineage, someone would have found her, I think.
True, and she produced her dad's Grammy-winning record. One of his 2 last Grammy-winning records. And I think that really, I don't think she's gotten enough credit for the work she's done there as a producer. I mean, she's multi-talented.
I don't know his name. He's from the band.
Helm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helm from
and if you want to watch something fun, The Last Waltz is, especially if you're an Amazon Prime person, it's on Amazon Prime right now, and man, it's amazing. Martin Scorsese took all this footage from the band. The band, yeah. And The Last Waltz was a show they put on with a bunch of amazing artists, and yeah.
Or if you want to see Levon, he also has a small part. He's got a part in the Right Stuff. I remember.
Oh, does he really?
Right Stuff, yeah.
Oh.
He's got the most amazing voice. I just listened to him just read the telephone book. I think that's how it goes. Like, he has such a good voice.
And it's so cool to watch him drum and sing. Like, that's a hard
not
thing.
Easy. Yeah.
Because when you're drumming, you're using your entire...
I say that like I would know, but I'm watching drummers, and they look very physical. Yeah. Their heads moving. How do you... The breath that it would take to sing seems very difficult.
The breath and the rhythm. I mean, you've got so much rhythm going on, but drummers are some of the most talented, amazing people. And Amy Helm, I've seen her... drum and do percussion, and she's got it down too. So
Todd and I, we watched that. It's like a behind the scenes. It's the Ernie Ball making of the tone or something like that. They're amazing, produced by the Audience Channel, and we watched the one with Tom DeLonge of Blink 182, and there's a scene in there where it's their drummer is fantastic, and he says to the drummer, like, you're the drummer. Why don't you tell us how to write a song? In other words, like, you're the best musician in the band. Where have you been on the songwriting process? And that's when the drummer was like, oh,
I could contribute.
I can contribute. Okay. Let me show you. And that's what he said. Like, we just started. That was breakthrough, because the drummer is contributing now, which is a big deal. So, yeah.
All right. So take us through how SnOwFOAM, because this is the 4th annual. 1, 2, and 3, where were they held?
All at Peery's Egyptian Theater.
Peery's Egyptian. So that's, and so you're moving over to the Monarch.
Yeah, and I feel really excited about it for a couple reasons. One, I was just in here for Joe McQueen's memorial, and the sound of the choir and the band and everything was so great upstairs. It just sounded so good. And just the energy in this building, and you all have really created that. It feels really good in here. And then we have a party going on before. So this is the perfect après-ski for your Ogden outdoor lovers, because they can come down at 5 o'clock. They can there's a cash bar, there's food from all of our favorite people, Roosters and Craft Burger and, everybody, and a cash bar. And there's a meet and greet with Amy Helm before the show.
That's awesome.
Right here in the Monarch. So
Yeah.
that's all going to be downstairs, and then people can go upstairs and it'll be really fun. And we're really celebrating 2019 and welcoming in 2020. It feels like a really good time, and we're excited to be here at the Monarch.
If you're not familiar with Amy Helm, I did a little bit of research, and if you go to Spotify, download her albums. Quite frankly, I don't think they do her justice. You got to go watch the live shows on YouTube. Go watch it. She'll blow you away. It's just the energy of who she plays with is unbelievable. So I feel like, and she's just one of the many artists that maybe it doesn't come through on the produced album side, because the live shows just look amazing.
Yeah, and I saw her open for the Wood Brothers at the State Room or Commonwealth Room last year. And those shows where you go and the opener kind of just steals the show, which is weird because the Wood Brothers are
Ogden's
amazing.
Lollapalooza was Rage Against the Machine opened and nobody knew who they were. Yeah, stole the show.
So
Yeah.
how that is, and you're like, you go, and that's what happened. The energy was so great, and of course the Wood Brothers brought it, but we were all like, well,
Yeah, but who's she? Yeah,
she really brought
Amy
it.
Helm, Amy
Yeah,
Helm.
yeah.
So yeah, how do you recruit? Like, how did you get her here? That's a big deal.
Well, we did talk to her that night. I was at the show, and we went and just checked in with her, and she said, check with my management. And
So when you're getting bands for the summer, who's in charge of that?
we have a talent committee, and Michelle Tanner and me, and it's kind of morphed over the years. We've got Sherry Wallwork on it now, and I can't remember who else, but we kind of have a list of things we want to see, and it's interesting. We rarely book a band that no one on the talent committee has seen live, because like you said, it's not about the produced music. We can see all kinds of video and everything, but it's about the energy that somebody brings and being in that space and feeling that. And so generally everyone we bring is someone that somebody on the talent committee has seen live, and sometimes multiple times, and we're ready to
Do you
to bring
get
'em.
people submit like, hey, you should bring so and so in?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
lots of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've experienced a little bit of with van sessions, because it's more semi-acoustic, where we'll listen to a produced thing and then they'll come in and they'll get nervous, and so the show is a little different from the produced because they're maybe not used to a live acoustic, because they spend so much time in studio. So you got to be careful with the artist and try and help them out a little bit,
It's true.
Yeah. Amy Helm here Friday night. What's the cost, and who can, I think, so anything with snOwFOAM, the kids are free.
Kids 16 and under are always free to everything we do, and not just for the show, but also the party. We want kids to...
They got to buy their own liquor.
Well, they can't buy.
Oh, that's
'cause
right. That's right.
We
They
got
can't.
an ID check stand. But no, the great thing about it is we really want to connect kids to live music experience, especially with acoustic instruments. And we're bringing students from Weber School District, Ogden School District, Da Vinci, and St. Joseph's here on Friday morning to spend some time with Amy Helm. So that's going to be exciting. And then hopefully they'll all come back that night with their folks.
Very cool. Is she going to play for the kids?
Yeah.
Oh,
10
wow.
o'clock. If you guys are here,
Yeah.
I know you have other things.
Yeah,
but,
it'll just look like we're working
Yeah.
/ lurking.
yeah, just come on
Doing
in.
research.
Doing research. Yeah.
No, we're excited for that because kids, they're amazing. We've had these outreaches with the snOwFOAM, and these kids ask the best questions.
They do.
Kids ask the best
They
questions.
really do.
really do.
Yeah.
They blew Booker T. Jones away last year because they asked, one young woman got up and said, how do you do your band dynamics, like, getting loud and soft? And he's like, that is the question. That's that's the key
He's
to...
like, I'm still working on it.
Yeah. He's like, that's
Yeah.
the key to making good music. If you can get that down, you've got everything. And
Wow.
yeah.
And it was just a curious kid.
Yep.
Wondering.
I love kids' questions so much. So I do the outreach programs, the arts outreach in town. But I was invited to go give a talk at Da Vinci this last month. And I can't remember what their program was, but interesting people in Ogden doing interesting things. And so I went and I gave 3 15-minute talks to the different age brackets, right? And so the youngest ones were probably my favorite. That's like first through third-ish grade or something like that. And I think the teachers even warned me, regardless of how focused you get, like, because I talked about arts in the parks, and I talked about becoming an art student, and I talked a little bit about podcasting, some of these interesting things, right? And the teacher says the very first question you're going to be asked, and she was 100% right, was how many pets do you have? What's your favorite animal?
Yeah, awesome.
I got a couple questions about podcasts. Every kid familiar with podcasts and podcasting.
This is a
right?
big deal. Yeah, we should do that.
Their parents listen to podcasts, driving them to school in the morning.
Interesting. Yeah,
I thought I would have to explain podcasting a little bit more than I did. I mean, across the bracket. I mean, they just
they've grown.
And they grew up
with podcasts.
Yeah, no, exactly. Totally different conversation.
Oh, that warms my heart.
It kind of made me feel kind of good too. And I can't remember which age group it was. It might have been the middle group. They were asking some really good questions, right? About how to make a podcast or kind of take it, and I'm like, wow, these questions are really good. I should take some notes so that when we do interviewing, right? And this one kid, he gets really serious. He goes, he said, these have all been really good questions. But I have a question. I have a really important question, right, for you. And I'm like, all right, I can answer
Let's
anything.
do that.
I'm like, because I want to try to remind these kids. I said, I need you to come up with questions. Because I could have answered questions for like an hour. There was so many.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's way more
I said,
fun
ask
than
a
just
question
talking.
that only I know the answer to, right? I try to be very specific, right? And so he sets me up, and I'm thinking we're going to go out really strong. And he goes, how long did it take you to grow that beard? That was it. That was my big closing question at the very end.
This is the most important question.
I love these kids. I love them so much.
And this is like the shorter version of your beard. You've had a beard before.
Yeah, this is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But it was still it was right along the lines of what you're saying. They just ask the absolute best questions. I just love kids so much. I'm so glad you do that for them.
Well, and there's the research is out there that live music it's good for everybody, and it's really good for kids. It's good for their neural connections. It's good for their emotional regulation. And for adults, and the one thing that I love about Amy Helm is her music does kind of bring people together. It creates a sense of community, and that's what Ogden is for me. It's a community, and this space feels like it's just right for that. So this is going to be an exciting evening. I hope everybody can come.
And how much are tickets?
Oh yeah, so they're $20 if you get them today. Well, so I don't know when this will air, but if you get them before Friday, they're $20. If you get them on Friday, they're $25. So it behooves you to act now. And then the other cool thing is the party. If you buy tickets to the concert, you'll get a code to get $5 off the party. It's $10 for the party if you come to the concert. So $30 for an evening out after you ski.
Gold. Yeah.
It's a brilliant
At the Monarch. And
Monarch.
and you'll probably get a lot of people that haven't been to this space before. It just sounds like an amazing day.
Yeah.
So Amy says this is part of if you have questions or you're driving and you can't write anything down, go to Facebook and search the event page. It's under SnOwFOAM 2020, Amy Helm. And in the description, Amy Helm is the daughter of legendary Arkansas native Levon Helm of the band, singer and songwriter Libby.
Titus, yep.
The stepdaughter of Titus's husband, Donald Fagan of Steely Dan.
Yep.
Like the whole, this is as big as you can get.
Yep.
She began her career as a member of her father's band, the Barn Burners, and then she co-founded Olabelle, a critically acclaimed folk gospel group that released 3 albums between 2004 and 2011, and she also carried on her father's legacy by producing, as you mentioned earlier, Midnight Rambles concerts. She produced an album. And it was the concerts at his Woodstock, New York studio. So.
And she's still doing those concerts.
Very cool.
And, those concerts are, the biggest they can get is 1,200 people. They're a really intimate setting. You're right up there with whoever they bring in. And it's really all about, it's music for music lovers and for musicians. It's a space for that. And she lives there in Woodstock. She just got a puppy. I can't wait to ask her about her puppy because her puppy was only 9 weeks old in August, so it's still not even a year old. And anyway.
This is one of those shows, and it seems like your summer festivals like this too, where you find out after the fact who came and who played and who you missed, and you don't want to miss this one.
No.
Yeah.
So we're giving the heads up.
Yep. Now you know. Now you know. So
It's the perfect time. 5 o'clock. The sun will be going down. You'll be done with your ski day or your snowshoe or your hike or whatever, or your work day.
yeah.
And then you just come down here to this beautiful space. And we have some of the artists who've donated some things for our silent auction at the party, and it's going to be fun.
Very good. That's Friday night again here at the Monarch building. Thanks, Reba, so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's go over some on the docket. The 23rd, so by the time you're listening to this, Thursday, 23rd, Ladies Night with Rocksmith Goods at Gear 30. Also, Avalanche Awareness Lecture Series at Roosters B Street at 7 p.m. And then, of course, Friday, as mentioned, SnOwFOAM 2020. And then we have, that's like 7 to 10, SnOwFOAM. Beacon Refresher on Saturday at Snowbasin Olympic Stadium. Pow Mau Terrain Park Jam on Saturday as well from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And February 1st is a family snowshoe event brought to you by the Goal Foundation. Go to the Goal Foundation's Facebook page for more information. February 6th is another Avalanche Awareness Lecture Series at Roosters B Street, 7 p.m. I mean, come on. Learn about avalanche awareness, and you can drink beer. And unfortunately, we had a very sad tragedy locally here where an 18-year-old lost his life. If you're unfamiliar, he was snowmobiling, and with his dad, he had a beacon and a avalanche pack, deployed the pack, but because the avalanche happened in a terrain trap, there was so much snow over him, and the dad did not have a beacon with him, so another group nearby came over with beacons and located the 18-year-old. They were able to find him, but it was too late. So these avalanche awareness lectures, they're for everyone. There was just a slide on the front side here right above the Bonneville Shoreline Trail the other day. Please, they're just for everyone's safety. Like, be aware of that these things can happen in the wintertime. And you never think it's going to be you. So, but that's why we have these, and we try to have a good time with them, even though it's a very serious subject. And I say we because I'm on the Ogden Avalanche board, but even though I don't do anything, but Corey Davis and Ben Bonner do all the work.
Don't say that. You provide something. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is, but I'm there. Motivational support. I don't know. Yeah. SheShreds.co, their weekend jamboree, that's their 3-day weekend party fest for the ladies up at Powder Mountain, is February 6th through the 9th. And then, as we talked about on the last OOA show, the Striders Winter Racing Circuit, which you know what that means. Ogden Marathon's coming up because the 5K is on February 8th. I got to change that from a 1 to a 2. The 8th of February is the 5K at the ice sheet, and then they just start backing up. Banff Mountain Film Festival World Tour, and just saw Jan yesterday. She came into Gear 30 and said, hey, do you guys want to donate? I said, yes, we'll donate to the raffle. So you could probably, if you go, of course we're going to win this year, Todd, because we'll get a certificate to the store where I manage.
10 years.
10 years.
How much are we
Haven't won a damn thing. We'll go this year, win, because it's a Gear 30 gift certificate. That is, yeah, and they won't. I'll give it to Todd. Yeah, I'll give it to Todd. But won't that be funny?
There's usually a lot of good prizes.
That's your Valentine's Day weekend, by the way, is the 14th through the 16th. Now you have plans. Banff Mountain Film Festival. Buy your tickets now, or you will not get them. And then we talked about this last week as well. They're running Up for Air, R.U.F.A, Up for Air series, Malans Peak at 29th Street Trailhead, and then at the front for Climbing Up for Air on Sunday. That's February 21st and 22nd. So lots going on, as always, in Ogden. In the news, the beautiful road that leads to Powder Mountain will go under construction this summer. There's a article in the Standard Examiner written by Ben. Oh, no, Mark Schenfeld. The pictures by Ben. The steep, winding, dangerous Powder Mountain Highway will be improved somewhat this summer as part of a $8 million Utah Department of Transportation project. Work on the stretch of the road from Eden to Powder Mountain is not a reconstruction, says UDOT spokesperson Vic Saunders, but a significant rehabilitation of the pavement. They're going to massage it.
For an $8 million
$8 million massage on it. Yeah.
Let's see what that does.
They're going to upgrade, I don't know what. And they're doing something else. It's there's like millions of dollars that's going to be spent on the road by Pineview where the rockfall is too. They're going to try and prevent the rockfall. So that I used to, so our Uncle Joe owns a V-dub, and it was the kind with the rag top that slides back, and we used to always go to Pineview.
Yeah.
When we were kids, he would take us to Pineview, and I would just look up at those rocks like these things are going to drop right on my head like any second. I know, and this was in the 80s or whatever when we were kids. I still have that paranoia a little bit that these rocks are going to drop anytime I drive past that area.
Because they do.
They do. A man was sentenced to 6 years in prison for stealing 13,000 pairs of skis from Aspen Skiing Company. That amounts to stealing 2 pairs of skis a day.
Is that what he did, or did he take them all? Like all at once?
That's how many he stole.
Skim it.
Okay, he skimmed them. So 52-year-old Derek Johnson was sentenced yesterday to 6 years in prison. He'll probably get out early on good behavior, but for stealing and selling over 13,000 pairs of skis worth nearly $6 million over 12 years. So he had this business where he worked with a company that they would buy skis and sell them legitimately. And then the one partner said, this isn't working out. We're going to leave. But then he would buy them through the business somehow. But the business didn't know or something. And then he was selling them on eBay by himself. And so he was stealing them and selling them and collecting the paycheck, and finally got busted like 6 years later. And he's going to do some jail time. 12 years later. 12 years. Took him 12 years. And his wife was his partner in crime, but he took full blame and said, don't mess with her. I feel really bad. I'll do this. I'll do the 6 years in jail. Thanks.
What are you in for, man?
Stole some skis.
Stole skis for 12 years.
For 12 years.
Yeah.
For 12 years. The millennials are not skiing. And this could be a problem for the ski resorts. The participation's down about 2.5% every year because them darn millennials aren't skiing. So things like free Wi-Fi, the resorts are trying to get like the millennials to ski. So they're giving them easy to navigate websites. That's an insult probably, and offering free Wi-Fi to millennials to try and get them involved. Which is weird because, like, around here, it feels like they all ski, but I don't know.
I don't know if that applies here.
Yeah.
I always think the best. At least I try to think the best.
Right?
Yeah.
Man survived weeks in an Alaskan... So he's from Salt Lake, turns out. His cabin burnt down because he used a wood... Now, did you know that you don't put cardboard in a wood-burning stove? I didn't know this. He said he knew this, but did it anyway because he was in a hurry.
Like just cardboard, or cardboard is
he
like...
He put a cardboard box in his wood-burning stove. He's like, I know you don't do that. And then for whatever, I don't know if it but it lit the roof on fire and the cabin burnt down.
Because it just blew out.
Yeah.
While it was still on fire.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's probably what happened.
And so he woke up in the middle of the night. His cabin, he's in the middle of nowhere, Alaska.
Nowhere.
So he's like 20 days in before they did a check on. They just did, he stamped out SOS in the snow.
Yeah. They
found him. He said, I'm going back home. He lost his dog, wasn't able to keep his dog alive.
Yeah, a horrible part of the story. That was really sad. Yeah.
Very sad. But he lives in Salt Lake. This guy's 30 years old. But he lived. He dug a snow cave and hung out in the snow cave. And he also kept his, it might even be the same wood-burning stove. He used the wood-burning stove for heat, but his cabin burnt down. Like
he can burn cardboard at that point.
Yeah,
probably.
He could burn whatever he wants at that point.
Oh. I did hear, though, that that... After all of this, I still did read somewhere that he's heading right back.
Oh, probably.
Like he's going right back to Alaska.
He strikes me as that kind.
No, he's absolutely heading right back. Like he got kind of knocked off that horse. Horse got burned down.
Yep. He's just got to get a new horse.
And then he's going right back again.
Yeah. Ecuador, this is bad on bad. Ecuador is selling a third of its Amazon rainforest to Chinese oil companies.
Yeah, this stuff happens, Brandon.
Ecuador.
It's pretty shitty, huh?
Planning to, it's pretty bad, auction off 3 million of the country's 8.1 million hectares of pristine Amazonian rainforest to Chinese oil companies. The Guardian reports, and I found this at Business Insider, the report comes as oil pollution forced neighboring Peru to declare an environmental state of emergency in its northern Amazon rainforest. So these poorer countries are selling their rainforest
to these predatory
to
people
China,
that are coming to save the day.
Yeah. So I
thought Sting bought all the rainforest. Didn't Sting buy all the rainforest?
I don't know, but he could.
Come on, Sting.
Sting, step
Get back
up
on it. Yeah. Jeez, that's why I followed Sting forever.
This is why I don't like him anymore.
Sting?
Yeah. He didn't buy them all, apparently.
Yeah,
China
well, he must not have.
Didn't
I thought he bought
outbid
a lot
China.
of them.
All right, so what's older, skis or the wheel?
I'm saying the ski, probably.
Skis are the skis are older, says an NPR story, but this is up at Snow Brains. What came first, the ski or the wheel? According to an NPR story, it was the ski. It's an interesting place, though, where this came from. We previously reported on the origins of skiing and how skiing is about 9,000 years old from Scandinavia. This article proposes that skiing is 10,000 years old and from China. The birthplace of skis is under debate, but the ski is believed to be even older than the wheel. So Jenkins recently traveled to China, which claims to have invented skis almost 10,000 years ago. There's this place. Let's see. The skis are remarkable. Let's see. Where is this place? The Altai, Altai Mountains, northwest China, where Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and Siberia come together. It's the dead center of Central Asia, a.k.a. the middle of freaking nowhere, where the Tuvan people have skied for at least 4,000 years. And they have these skis. There's a picture here. These guys, they still do this, where they lasso elk from their ski. So what they do is they find elk stuck in deep powder. They ski over to it, and they lasso the antlers, and the elk can't get out of the deep powder. And that's how they get their food and their provisions for the winter or whatever. It's an ancient Chinese ski technique thing going on over here. But
I can see they just looking for these researchers for 10,000-year-old like ski wax or stickers. 10,000-year-old stickers.
Yeah, there was I just closed the tab, but there was a little archaeological. There's a rock, and there's a picture of a guy with skis on,
getting some sick air,
and killing a. It was
probably a little more practical back then.
Yeah. So I do MC the powder keg, or did every year. They're changing ownership, so I don't know if I'll be invited back with the new owners. But ski mountaineering may be an Olympic sport, or the newest Olympic sport. If you're not familiar,
and agility, the key attributes for athletes competing in the ski mountaineering events. An Olympic event for the first time at Lausanne 2020. Athletes race over snow-covered terrain in testing conditions combining both skiing and mountaineering. It's a race, and the first to cross the finish line wins. Athletes compete in 3 different events. The shortest is the sprint, a race for individuals. The athletes go up the course on skis and on foot. Then it's
probably the best athletes in the world.
As fast as possible. The first to get down wins. The individual event is longer. Endurance and stamina are tested here in a race lasting up to 90 minutes. The course is made up of 3 ascents and 3 fast and furious descents. First to get down wins. The relay event features teams of 4, 2 men and 2 women. This time with 2 ascents and 2 descents. Again,
this is NBC Sports here.
Team to finish, taking the gold. The equipment in ski mountaineering is different. The skis feature detachable skins which allow the athletes to ski uphill without sliding backwards. The skis are also lighter, which make them easier to carry for the sections on foot. Ski boots are also adapted for quick opening, which
You're
makes
down
it
to
easier and
be a
faster.
professional ski mountaineer, Todd?
Done.
Yeah.
Done. Give me like 2 months.
2 months. That's all you got.
To the pro level. Because I'm
level.
already.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
right
and
below
to
that.
give you an idea, or some training tips, 100-year-old Klaus Obermeier. Obermeier.
Got it.
Not Obendorfer.
Nope.
Your cousin, Obermeier, has some tips. So if you'd like to be skiing at 100 years old, here's what Klaus says.
Stay alive to 100.
Stay alive to 100. Here's the secret sauce. Proper diet, lots of whiskey. I just made that part
I
up.
guarantee you it's not proper as in like today's proper.
Low impact cardio and Aikido. Like karate, like Aikido.
Like a martial arts thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
martial
got
arts. So low impact cardio. Klaus's modalities of choice when it comes to cardio are swimming for an hour in the mornings and hitting cardio equipment in the gym like a bike or an elliptical. He says you have to keep exercising. Your health should be number one priority, and then your marriage, and then your work. And sometimes the order of importance changes, but your health is very important.
it. Nice.
Yeah.
Way to go, man.
There you go.
That's good advice.
That's all the news I had for this week. Something worth listening. We mentioned or keep mentioning each week, the Big Gear Show, and S News, who partners with the Channel Mastery. They did their latest podcast, which is episode 117. They interview the founders of the Big Gear Show, which will be in Salt Lake. It is they founded the Big Gear Show and the Paddle Sports Retailer Show. Sutton Bacon and Darren Bush. So episode 117, we'll link it. You can listen to that. They interviewed them and get to know more about, actually, if you don't want to listen to it, if you want to read the article, we'll link the whole article that has the podcast.
Did you listen to it?
I haven't had a chance. I just found this today.
Nice.
But I'm interested because I want to know, I'm hoping they go into what the expectations of the show are, what they plan to do with it, that kind of stuff. So looking forward to the podcast. That's our worth listening. Our worth watching is a project by the Sky Glow Project. It's absolutely stunning visuals of the Grand Canyon. You can go to Vimeo, called skyglowproject.com. Khabib Elegy. Millions of visitors a year come to Arizona's Grand Canyon National Park, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world and the most visited national park in the western United States. I thought it was Yellowstone, but maybe not. However, on extreme days, there's cold air trapped, and it shows these like clouds that are trapped in the scenes, these slow motion video. The capture of these storms that roll across the Grand Canyon are just spectacular.
I give it 2 stars. It doesn't look anything like the license plate.
It doesn't look anything like the license plate. That's not our state, but that was reaching back to last week. And then I didn't mean to watch this. It's 28 minutes, 28 minutes.
That's not a casual video.
I did not mean to watch this, but I did. I watched the entire freaking thing. This guy, he poaches a U-Haul in like negative 30-degree weather wherever he's at.
Okay.
He's like a ski bum because it's $19.95 a day or whatever, and then sleeps in the U-Haul
for $20
for $20 a day. But he's got to outfit it with like moving blankets, and he brings like a little heater with him, and it's 28 minutes of him like, well, this guy's nuts. And he warms it up to maybe 0 in the U-Haul. But I watched the whole thing. I don't know if this is worth watching or not. I just throwing it on there because it's called negative 35 degrees stealth camping in a rented U-Haul. It is an option, folks.
This is one of those videos I'm going to watch it vicariously through you watching it for 30 minutes. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. And then something worth reading, and this is really cool. Review Voices of Yellowstone's capstone. So the editors, I don't know how to say their name, Trot, Peery and Jesse Logan brilliantly compile over 30 essays written by local authors and professionals in Voices of Yellowstone's capstone, a narrative atlas of the Absaroka, is that you say that? Beartooth Wilderness.
Nailed it.
$45. Read the riveting history of the Beartooth Wilderness.
We'll link to it, people.
Absaluki people and the mountain men who first discovered the desolate land. Which it looks amazing. It's like a hardcover. It's called Voices of Yellowstone Capstone. I just learned about this today because the author is, do you remember Andy Prims, who I worked with at Mountain Luxury? It's like his uncle or something.
Nice.
Who wrote it. Yeah. And he's like, oh, you'd really like this. And he's like, I said, yeah, we should get him on the show. He's like, yeah, that'd be awesome. So maybe we'll get him on the show, the author of that on the show.
Maybe we'll podcast out of a U-Haul when it's 32 degrees below 0.
Too much for me. Gear 30 segment. Use promo code OOA.
I don't remember.
OOA.
Oh, that's this show.
Yeah.
OOA, yes.
OOA.
But I do know that you save
12%.
12%. I got that part down. Yeah.
The weekly deal this week is jackets. So if you go online to gear30.com, use OOA at checkout, you do save 12% on your purchase. So hot. Field Notes by the National Park Series. So this is really cool. The old school field notes that you can take with you. They now come in 4 3-packs. There's 12 parks, and the cover is this artist that does representations of all the national parks, and they are very cool looking.
Nice.
So,
where do you get those?
This is from, if you just go to, I'm at fieldnotesbrand.com.
So you're saying
you can go
just
direct.
Google it?
Yeah, we don't sell them.
Google it, kid.
You can get
You'll
these
find
different packages. Arches is in there. Yellowstone's in there. There's a lot of them that are available. But if you're into field notes, that is a fun version to purchase or to look to purchase. Okay, that's all I have this week.
Dude, that's plenty, dude.
Yeah, but that's only, dude, we're at about 40 minutes. So
that's a perfect time. We're trying to keep it around 40 minutes, which is good.
You can listen to the Gear 30 Daily Gear podcast to learn more about gear, which we record separately. And there's like 100 and something of those already.
Jeez.
Quote of the week: do noble things, do not dream them all day. Charles Kingsley. In other words, get off the couch, do some things. Thank you so much to Banyan 1 for powering today's 346th, 48th, 9th.
Let's keep going
episode.
Up.
I didn't change my notes.
349
Of the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show. Look for us on Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, Spotify, thebanyancollective.com, and Podbean, and Android, all iPhones. All show notes are linked at the blog at thebanyancollective.com. Hit us up on Twitter at Ogden Adventure, at Banyan Podcast. Sifting through so many hours of music, crappy music, so that you don't have to. Well, this week, of course, we're going to go out with a little Amy Helm. Get you excited for Friday night. This is the Stones. I
good
Throw.
Song. Good choice.
Yeah, Stones I Throw. This is a very good, cool song. As John Muir would say, the mountains are calling. We must go.
Let's go.